welcome to Good Day LA. It's 8 o'clock on this Tuesday, last day of March. I'm Jen Lammers.
I'm Bobby Castro, and here's a look at some of the stories we'll be covering this morning. We are investigating the events that led up to an Azusa man being found dead in a police car. This is video in a story you'll see only on Fox.
And California is marking Farm Workers Day for the very first time following the Cesar Chavez scandal. We'll speak with the woman who spearheaded the legislation to begin a new era of honoring the labor movement.
And we are closely watching the potential for rain in the forecast. Temperatures are expected to even be cooler than average, a stark difference from what we have been experiencing, which was well above normal temperatures. We've got a lot of cloud cover and even the potential for pockets of some really light drizzle at this early hour. Numbers right now about 6 degrees in Pasadena, 64 degrees in Corona, and temperature highs today will settle right around upper 60s and low 70s. The rain opportunities, our best chance at seeing some of that rainfall won't be until later this afternoon into the evening hours. Numbers across our mountain communities about 55 degrees, and it will be a windy afternoon. Tonight we're looking at gusts up to 50 miles an hour through our high deserts and low desert areas. This is a brief storm system. It's going to deliver some beneficial rain. I have more details on all that coming up. In the meantime, we're going to send it over to Stu and Sky Fox with a look at some breaking news.
Hey, good morning, Samana. A little bit of breaking news, a little bit of traffic. That's what Skyvox all about. Downtown Los Angeles, Hooper and 16th Street. You see LA City Fire out there? When these guys show up, that fire is out. That's pretty much the deal, and that's what happened. They had a homeless encampment catch on fire underneath the freeway. You can still see some of the firefighters down there putting some water on those last spots. A lot of trash down there. Got to get that cleaned up. But as far as the drive goes, even when that thing was really burning, which it was a couple minutes ago, nobody even really slowed down on that 10. That's very LA. Love it. But if you're driving that 10 freeway through the downtown Los Angeles area, westbound, you're going to hit those brakes right around 110. If you're headed eastbound, you look at that, moving along pretty well, even past the the East LA interchange. Sending it back to you all in the studio, and good morning.
All right, Stu, thank you so much. Now for a report. First seen on Fox. We have new information on an Azusa man who was recently found dead in a police car.
Gigi Gracietta is sitting by in Azusa with more. Good morning.
That's right. The body-worn camera footage you're about to see marks the beginning of what turned out to be a tragic story with an unexpected ending. It is the moment that police pulled over Eric Valencia, reportedly for driving with no lights on. But they noted they immediately smelled alcohol.
Last thing you had a drink?
In the morning.
In the morning?
Yeah.
What time?
Like I said, like 10 o'clock. Like 10 o'clock in the morning.
It was Friday, March 20th at 9 p.m. Inside Valencia's car, his 2 small children, ages 3 and 11, their faces blurred to protect their identity. Again, suspecting Valencia was under the influence, the officers are seen giving him at least 2 PASS tests. That stands for preliminary alcohol screening, commonly known as breathalyzers. The results, police say, were a 0.20 on one and 0.18 on another, more than twice the legal limit of 0.08. His driver's license, they say, was expired, and he had no proof of registration or insurance in the car. But there were more pressing matters. Valencia arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence and child endangerment. His children turned over to a family member. During a jailhouse interview, Valencia is heard admitting he forgot to turn his lights on, and at one moment says to the officer, "I'm all jacked up. I can't even walk straight." Unclear what he's referencing. But he insisted he only had 1 beer at 10 a.m. that day. Officers repeatedly are heard telling him they can smell the alcohol. The exchange is professional, almost amicable at times. Valencia was released from jail on Monday afternoon, pending toxicology results of a blood sample taken in jail. But he never made it home. Surveillance cameras on the Azusa Police Department's building would later show him leaving the station at about 12:30. He's seen walking back and forth, looking at the patrol cars parked outside the department. and he eventually gets into the unit known as Paul 37, which the department says was out of service and left unlocked. They admit it should have been locked, although there were no weapons inside. The video shows Valencia getting into the car with no officers present. The moment he closed the door, he effectively locked himself in. But police say he had a working cell phone on him, and logs show he never called 911 to ask for help. His family eventually reported him missing to Azusa PD, and 3 days later, when a civilian employee got into Paul 37 to get it washed, he found Valencia's lifeless body. The police department says there are dozens and dozens of hours of surveillance video that shows Valencia getting into the car on his own. Why he did that is not known and may never be known. The incident now being investigated by 4 different agencies, including obviously Azusa Police, the District Attorney's Office, the Medical Examiner's Office, which will determine how Valencia died, and a private firm that's investigating. This morning, we heard from the Azusa Police Department's chief.
When there's any loss of life, it's tragic, especially when you have kids or you pass before your parents. It's a hard thing, and we'd love to give them closure. I know they want closure. That's probably the biggest thing, is what happened, how it happened, and we want to know the same thing, and we want to be able to provide that to them with some time and some investigation.
Now, Valencia's family are demanding answers. They've retained lawyers. They were here at the police department yesterday demanding that the footage of Valencia's body being found be released. It was released later that evening, yesterday evening. There is a lot more footage that the police department is also working on. Again, 4 different agencies are working, including, of course, Azusa Police, trying to determine exactly what happened here. Certainly a very tragic story, and his family understandably distraught and understandably has many questions. The chief tried his best. We're going to have more on clarifying many of the family's questions coming up on Good Day LA. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Gigi, excellent reporting there. Thank you. Now to a very unlikely escape from police in Michigan, and it was all caught on a Facebook live stream. So look at this. A woman in handcuffs wiggled herself through the open window of a police car. Police were right on the other side of the car, but somehow didn't see her climb out and run off. So far, police have not commented on the escape or whether she has been caught.
A man in Virginia lucky to be okay this morning after a state trooper had to rescue him from a burning pickup truck with moments to spare. Look at this. The trooper responded March the 25th to a truck in a ditch. The engine was still running. The trooper was talking to the driver when the grass underneath the truck caught fire. The trooper then pulled the man from the truck moments before flames shot up from underneath it. The driver was evaluated and taken home.
All right, coming up, as California observes Farm Workers Day for the very first time.
We'll chat with a woman sparking positive change for the labor movement following the Cesar Chavez scandal. That's next. First, let's get to Stu with a check on traffic.
Hey, good morning, Bobby. Good morning, Jen. Good morning, everybody watching. And this traffic, or Skybox traffic, is brought to us by My Home Sold. Taking a look at that 101 drive. Where are we? Studio City. If you're looking on that left side of the screen, that is going to be the southbound. That's going to be the slow and go coming away from the 405 out towards the 170-134 split. We've seen it a lot worse, so just give yourself a little extra time. But if you're heading into the valley from the North Hollywood area, from the Cahuenga Pass, look at that. Moving along super well. We know it, though, by the time you get to the 405, a little slow and go. But after that, Encino, Tarzana, I'd say it's a pretty good ride out to the west. Let's take a look at some traffic hotspots.
Hello, I'm Adrian Hernandez with MyHomeSold.com, and we want to buy your house cash. We'll give you a cash offer for your house today. Sell your house the easy way with no commissions, no fees, no repairs. For free, no obligation cash offer. Go to MyHomeSold.com.
A high-stakes showdown at the Supreme Court tomorrow as the justices weigh the future of birthright citizenship. The High Court will decide if President Trump overstepped his power by signing an executive order to end automatic citizenship for children born to undocumented immigrants. The administration argues that the 14th Amendment has been misrepresented for decades, while critics call the move a direct violation of the Constitution. Every lower court so far has blocked the president's order. Oral arguments set to begin at 7 a.m. tomorrow, and a decision is expected by the summer.
All right, today is March 31st, and California is marking Farm Workers Day for the very first time.
Brooke is here with the latest on this.
Hello. Yep, that's right. It is March 31st. The state holiday was long known as Cesar Chavez Day, but leaders across the state have moved to drop the late civil rights leader's name after sexual abuse allegations against him surfaced earlier this month. Governor Newsom signed the name change into law last week. Cities across the state, including Los Angeles, are now moving to strip Chavez's name from streets, schools, and parks, refocusing the holiday on the broader labor movement rather than on one man. You know, that's the point here, right? There is an important discussion, a very important discussion happening about the name of this day and why the name is changing, but it's imperative we don't forget the meaning of this day. It's a day to honor the people who work in our fields and their ongoing struggle for rights. It's a reminder of a fight for fair wages and overtime pay, access to clean drinking water, things like clean toilets and heat illness prevention, safer working conditions overall, and the legal right to organize without retaliation. Dolores Huerta, Gilbert Padilla, Larry Itliong, and Philip Veracruz, two Filipino farm workers and organizers. All of these people helped create the UFW, which is the longest-running farm workers union in the United States. Their advocacy led to the passage of the California Agricultural Labor Relations Act of 1975, which protected farm workers' rights here to form unions and bargain collectively over their wages and conditions, the very first law of its kind here in our nation.
And so the investigation continues into the allegations against Cesar Chavez.
The investigation continues. You know, the New York Times report that started all of this, they worked on this for 5 years, saying it started with a tip in 2021, one tip from a biographer saying, hey, you know, this wasn't in my book, but I think you should look into this. And it took 5 years. I mean, there were meetings with women who had made the allegations somewhat publicly in Facebook groups and didn't show up to the meeting. You know, it took 5 years. Two reporters working on this for real. They interviewed some 60 different people. Also looked at hundreds of union notes, phone call notes, you know, emails. I saw one bit that one of the reporters were saying that some of the emails dated back 10 years ago, actually talking about these very allegations.
And then to sit down with Dolores Huerta and to hear her story and how she'd been essentially sitting on that information for decades and not telling her story because she wanted to protect the cause, and it was that valuable to her.
No, that cause, right? That cause is very important. We're talking about the ongoing struggle. There are protections here in California, but nationwide, farm workers are not protected. They don't have a federal right to join a union. And I think I read that some 1% of farm workers in our nation are protected. 1%.
It's pretty amazing. When I saw Dolores Huerta here in our studio here, I just blew my mind. I'm like, this is just a remarkable, remarkable woman.
Yeah, they changed history together,
and
truly.
History will, will be changed again.
Yeah, and you know, the kids in school, they get to learn about all of these people now.
They do.
That's really important.
That's going to change a lot.
Yeah.
Perspective. All right. Thank you, Brooke. And that explosive New York Times investigation was published less than 2 weeks ago. And between then and now, Chavez's name has been stripped, or will be, on several monuments, schools, and streets.
The push to rename today to Farm Workers Day was also done within that time. Joining us now live this morning, State Assemblywoman Alexandra Macedo. She spearheaded the legislation to change today to Farm Workers Day. Good morning.
Good morning. It's an honor to be here.
Well,
and happy Farm Workers Day.
Happy Farm Workers Day. You moved to change this name at breakneck speed. Why was it important for you to do so immediately?
I represent the top ag district in the state of California. I grew up in the Central Valley in a farming family, and so I firsthand know the contributions that the farm workers have made to the state of California and the entire world as a whole. But for those victims, they should not have to suffer the trauma of facing today of Cesar Chavez Day. And so why not make something positive out of such a horrific situation? And let's make quick work of making it Farm Workers Day, that in my opinion, it should have been all along. It was never about one man. It was never about one person. It was never one singular incident. It is about the resilience of the farm worker and their continued stories that are written this day.
But you cannot deny that Cesar Chavez, up until now, had been the face of this. He had been somewhat of an icon for the Latino community and the labor movement for decades. So what is your message to anybody who might feel that erasing his name also erases a symbol of their political empowerment?
I think it's important to note once again that Cesar Chavez may have been the face of this, but he was not the only one. If you noted previously, there was many people involved. One thing that I am hearing quite a bit from people that did idolize him and saw him as a hero, that they're feeling immense guilt now for their idolization of him. And now this reckoning of all of the people that we need to thank, and not just from things that happened years ago, things that continue to happen today. Farm workers are continuing to make history here in California, and it's truly incredible. Once again, it shouldn't have to be about one man or one movement. And to those that still honor him, they can do that, but it's not in the public, it's not on schools, it's not on streets, and now it's not a state holiday.
Well, I think you make a good point here, because the silver lining to all of this is that we get to hear the histories of other people who spearheaded this farm workers movement. As you said, even as a Filipino American, no one talks about, Larry Itliong, but now, the children in this state and the people who start to learn this history will start to know that there were so many people who were behind this movement and are still part of this movement.
Right. This actually started with the Filipino community that walked out of the grape vineyards in Delano and encouraged the Latino farm workers to join their courage. And it really became a joint effort that then, once again, this has snowballed time and time again, that more and more people have joined the movement. And that's also what's fascinating to me, is now farm workers from across ethnicities can also feel like they're being honored today. My family immigrated here from the Azorian Islands, and my great-grandfathers didn't even have shoes on their feet, caught trains on the East Coast, made it out to California, and worked the fields and continue to work the fields. I grew up out in the fields with my grandfathers, and so everybody is going to see a little part of their story. And when they sit down to eat tonight, everybody should thank a farm worker. They should do that every night, but particularly on Farm Workers Day, that these are the hardworking hands that help grow your food and make sure that there's food in the grocery store shelves that you can bring home and nourish your family. It's truly incredible what they accomplish every single day.
It sure is, and your family was on the forefront of that. What do we need to know now about the current and active farm workers in the state right now? Are they taken care of? Are they protected?
They really are. And one thing that I will tell you is anytime there is a gap or a place that we think we can be better, a lot of people in the ag industry are already rising to that occasion. And you can see that in a lot of generational farm workers now have kids that are going to Ivy League schools. They're going to USC, UCLA, and there is so many labor protections in the state of California, not just for farm workers, but for all workers, but particularly in the ag space, because the technology has also become better and better. And we utilize that technology to protect labor. It's so important to understand in the ag industry, if we don't provide safe conditions for our farm workers, they don't want to show up for work. And so we want them to feel like when they show up to work, they're safe, they are appreciated, and they are properly compensated.
So you represent the farm workers in the Central Valley. There still has to be challenges for some of those farm workers out there. What are some of the biggest challenges that you would like people to know that those farm workers face? As we drive along the freeways and we see those farm workers out there, you really feel for them, because these are people with families. They are some of the hardest working people that are out there.
Just know that things like the cost of food, the cost of fuel, all of those things that are hitting all Californians hits our district even harder, because we are so rural. We are far away from services. So healthcare is a huge one. Living in a healthcare desert. And then coming from the farm worker community, you will hear a lot of times that they don't want to take time off of work to go to the doctor, because those are times that they want to be out working and getting their paychecks. So once again, whatever's hitting you in your pocketbook, it's hitting us in the valley even harder. And then you add in things like the fuel costs that's hurting ag margins, and that could hurt the ability for ag production to continue having the scale of labor that it has. And we need to protect ag jobs, and that means protecting farm ground. And I think when we think about the protection of farm ground here in the Central Valley, we think of just farmers, and it's not. It's all jobs relating to that piece of farm ground. It is the crop, it is the inputs, it is the tech services, and most importantly, it's the farm worker. And so I think there is an element of fear when we see the amount of ag ground in production in California decreasing due to water shortages.
Right.
That's a scary thing for many of them. But they also struggle that we live in the fourth largest economy in the world.
That's
and
right.
certain communities don't have access to safe, clean drinking water.
Right.
That's insanity to me. Absolute insanity.
Lots of big issues. Assemblywoman Macedos, thanks so much for joining us here this morning in Los Angeles.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Be right back.
Brace yourself for an incredibly close call caught on camera in Colorado. An acrobatic skier zooms down the hill, goes up a ramp into an amazing flip. Look at that. It's like Olympics. Whoa. Whoa. But as he came down that last landing, he had to do a last-second split to avoid crashing to a young snowboarder. Luckily, no one was hurt. Wow. Be careful out there with the kids on the slopes, you know?
That's right.
We'll be right back.
Keep your head in a swivel.
Whoa.
Oh, so close. What a full circle moment. Good morning.
Morning.
Happy last day of March, everybody.
It is.
It is the last day. Yeah. Tomorrow's April 1st, so you know she's got something.
What are you
up her
doing?
sleeve.
I know. Something.
Something?
You know, I don't want to disappoint, but I'm working on it.
What was your best?
You know, one of my favorites is going around the office with an empty donut box because everyone falls for it.
I fell for that.
Yeah, you did.
But wait, do you open it?
That's so lame. That's so lame.
Everyone
you want a
falls
donut?
for it.
Ha ha ha! Happy April Fool's Day. It's
And
like,
it works every time.
Oh,
it's just the pure reaction
Do you
of.
want a donut?
It's just the pure reaction of being excited.
Yeah, and then horrifically let down.
disappointed.
That's great.
Laugh in
And
their
then-
face. Okay.
and then let down that it was a lame joke.
You know, some would say that's mean-spirited, Samara.
Yeah, that's right.
It's all on April 1st.
Wow.
You know?
Okay,
Yeah.
so I guess nothing.
You're right. Got to watch your back around here.
Everything's on the table with you.
Yeah, but now that the pressure's on, I don't know if I can deliver. I don't know. I may not do anything. Good morning. Hey, we've got Mother Nature giving us some raindrops eventually. Big change in our weather pattern. We have this nice onshore flow, and we've got wind conditions right now, mostly light, but it will change. We do have wind advisories that will be in place later today. We've got temperatures right around 66 degrees. Currently, it's cool, and temperature highs. We'll be looking forward to a range of upper 60s, 69 degrees in Santa Monica under a lot of cloud cover. Temperatures will be very comfortable. This is near normal for this time of year, especially coming off of a very hot and dry March. Finally, we end the month potentially gathering some additional raindrops. And the time frame of rain for us, not until the latter part of this afternoon and into the evening hours. You could see by 9 o'clock, we're building on that rain. We've got 30 to even 60% chance later tonight as it continues to move through the area. The backside of that rain will be drying up pretty nicely into Wednesday afternoon. March highs for the very last day, we're looking at low 70s. Interesting weather we've got here, but maybe welcoming April showers, maybe a 10% chance of that tomorrow. More details and 7-day forecast coming up. In the meantime, traffic conditions. Taking a look outside, we have your ride covered here. Earlier, there was a 3-vehicle crash westbound 60 at Country Village Road. Already picking up those delays there, but they are working on clearing the debris out of the roadway, so that's going to tie you up for just a bit if that's part of your route in the Harupa Valley area. Real-time traffic, we've got pockets of light drizzle in some areas, but overall the roadways remain dry. Westbound 60 from 57, about 28 minutes, and your Drive Caltrans camera. The northbound side of the 405, a little bit of a struggle. Southbound side, headed toward LAX. Looks good there. So I'm back over to you guys.
All right, so thank you. Looking for something to do on spring break with the family?
Take a trip to Long Beach and check out the schools of fish. Coco is live with the Aquarium of the Pacific. You have to say it like that. Good morning.
Hey there, I do think you have to say it like that for sure, because that commercial always runs through my mind. I love the Aquarium of the Pacific. It is actually working with the LA Public Library to offer discounted tickets. It's a really cool program called Discover and Go. I'll tell you about that in a little bit, but I'm here with Jeff now, who is the president and CEO. And this exhibit here really speaks to the work that the aquarium does.
Absolutely. This is our white abalone exhibit, which showcases the Aquarium of the Pacific's conservation program to help bring this species back from the brink of extinction. Abalone used to be plentiful off the coast of California, but in the 1970s they were overfished to the point where they nearly disappeared. Around 2007, the aquarium committed to helping bring this species back. So here at the aquarium, we actually breed them and rear them, then reintroduce them to the wild and do monitoring programs to try to bring them back to the point where they should be in their ecosystem.
That's incredible. And we're also standing next to another very popular exhibit when you really first come into the aquarium.
Yes. So this exhibit is designed to reconstruct the kelp forest found here in Southern California off the coast of Catalina Island. It's called Casino Point. It features many different species you might see if you were to go diving here in Southern California, including rockfish, the Garibaldi fish, and several species of shark, like Sam, who's swimming by us right now, the leopard shark.
I love that, and Sam went by super quick, but what's really cool about Sam is it actually says I am on his body when he swims this way. So, of course, Sam, I am. That's something that I love to see. This is a popular place for spring break and really any time of year, right?
It is. The kids love to come here and see this, to experience what it might look like if they were to go diving off the coast of California. It's a really inspiring and exciting exhibit.
Well, I love that. Thank you so much, Jeff, for talking to us. I definitely recommend coming to the Aquarium of the Pacific. And if you would like discounted tickets, I mentioned the LA Public Library has this Discover and Go program. And that means you'll be able to get tickets for about $9 less than normal. So what you're going to want to do is go to the website lapl.discoverandgo.net. You'll put in your library card information there, and then you'll be able to reserve tickets. The LA Public Library is working with more than 20 museums and cultural institutions all around LA County where you'll be able to experience this. Like I said, some are offering free, others offering discounted tickets. So definitely make sure to take them up on this offer, especially during spring break. I'll send it back to you.
Good use of a library card, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Coco, thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you.
It's time. The first batch of notification emails for the LA 28 Olympics tickets are being sent out this morning.
Check your inbox. 5 million fans have registered. Will you be part of the lucky group to enter the pre-sale? The first set of tickets will go on sale April 2nd to the 6th. This pre-sale is reserved just for locals, so listen up. If you get an email saying you get access to the pre-sale, make sure you use a payment method that has a billing zip code from one of the 5 qualifying counties. That does include LA, Orange, Riverside, San Bernardino, and Ventura counties. As for the general ticket sale, that starts April 9 through the 19th. You can purchase up to 12 tickets for the entire Olympic Games, and you'll be assigned a time slot at random.
If you don't get an email today, don't freak out.
Okay.
Emails will continue going out for the first batch until April the 4th. Notifications will be sent 48 hours before the time slot for purchase.
And check your spam. It might go to your spam. You never know.
If you don't get lucky the first go-around, you'll get a notification on April the 7th that you've been automatically registered for the next ticket drop. I have friends that work for some big companies, and they say they're already selling blocks of tickets for companies for corporate sales for their clients and things like that. The boxes.
These big corporations gobbling up those tickets already.
Yeah. Are you excited for Coachella? The music festival kicks off in less than 2 weeks. There are more than 100 places you can get your food, starting with Nobu's dining experience of a lifetime. The Michelin star restaurant's pop-up in the desert will offer a $375 dining package at the Red Bull Mirage.
Who's going to be able to afford that?
Coachella people.
Don't you feel like that's...
that go to.
Yeah,
But,
I feel like
Coachella
that's...
people are typically they're younger.
Those tickets are expensive. Those wristbands
they're
are
very
expensive.
This is catering to the crowd for that
It's
VIP
catering to the
experience.
VIP.
Like the
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yes,
the VIP.
the tented masses.
So you get a great view of the Quasar stage where world-class... See, you're already inside.
Yeah.
World-class DJs will be performing. On the other end of the spectrum, you can enjoy some of LA's finest street food options like Via's Tacos, over-the-top sandwiches from Fat Sal's.
All right.
For
Yum,
those
yum.
wanting a quick but elevated bite, the Indio Central Market has you covered. Under one shaded roof, you'll find 15 vendors offering foods from Italian to American and everything in between.
Via's Tacos made a special appearance at the Super Bowl halftime show.
They sure did. With
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. Yeah. I mean, wow. $375. Diplo better feed me for that money.
Can you go to Coachella and bring your own food? Can you bring a bag lunch?
Yeah.
You can bring a bag lunch to Coachella? I don't know.
can.
I've never been. You can.
You can.
You can?
Oh, yeah, you can. And you're like little
What
backpack.
about drinks? Can you bring your own drinks?
No.
Exactly.
You cannot bring drinks.
You cannot.
So don't try anything funny with those
Don't
water
try to pull a
bottles.
fast one.
Yeah. I think actually a legit water bottle you can.
Put stuff in it?
No.
Oh.
Just the bottle.
How do they
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I think it has to be unopened. I think. Yeah,
You got to
from what
smell it.
Whatever. They're like, smell test. Good morning to you. Entertainment sponsored by Yamava Resort and Casino. Do you guys watch Euphoria?
Yes,
Me
and I cannot
too.
wait.
Yeah. The highly anticipated third season of Euphoria. It's almost here. And so is the drama and big star power that comes along with it. Lordy, Lordy, Jacob Elordi. Here's a look at the new trailer.
In the beginning, we had to make a choice about who we were and what we wanted.
The network loved your storyline.
Really? But what we didn't realize was how far we were willing to go.
Oh, me spy Sharon Stone.
I know.
Yeah, I spy.
This cast is so good.
So good. The music, so good in the show.
Oh,
now,
Eric Dane.
Eric Dane, yeah. The series has a time jump in the future to see how the characters are doing out of high school and, of course, showing the new phases of their lives. But it looks like their pasts are coming back to haunt them.
Wow.
The new trailer showing Zendaya, Jacob Elordi, and Sydney Sweeney at a high-profile wedding while, as you saw, Eric Dane makes his final appearance.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I know. Zendaya's character, Rue, faces darker, more intense challenges, and fans are buzzing about some new relationships, of course, the drama, and the show's high-stakes storylines. It's almost here. The season is set to premiere April 12th on HBO Max.
I mean, if you think about how mega big all of this cast has become
100%.
since the first season aired.
It's like
Zendaya,
Friends.
Jacob Elordi, Sydney
like
Sweeney.
Friends, they just became super famous.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They could renegotiate their contracts, and by the end, they were making a gazillion
I think that's why it
dollars
took
per
so long
episode.
for the season to come out.
Yeah, no, for sure. They're working on so many
Renegotiate the
big
contracts.
things.
Yeah.
You have Maude Apatow in there. You have Alexa
Domingo.
Demi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hunter Schafer. It's a huge cast. Speaking of cast, we now know that Heather Graham and Rosie Perez have been added to the cast of White Lotus Season 4. But could you be next? Yeah, I'm talking about you. That's right. The team behind the White Lotus is looking to cast 4 background actors. Very significant for it being Season 4. They're going to have some in-person casting sessions taking place. They don't want actors, and they do not want influencers. They want real people. Here's the catch, because there's always a catch. You need to already be in the Saint-Tropez area. It's taking place, the casting sessions at, say it with me, Salon d'Espace.
Salon d'Espace.
That's where they're casting. 16 and over, not 18 there. 16 and over in France. No experience required. Dress spring casual. And if you know someone in France right now, send it their way. Merci. Okay, last hour, we're talking buffets, and we asked you what your favorite part of a buffet is. Looks like 55% just want that all-you-can-eat experience. Woohoo! Go to foxla.com/vote to let us know what you think. Okay, this is a very heartwarming interview for me. More kids than ever are surviving cancer, but for families facing that life-changing diagnosis, the fight can be long, expensive, and very emotional. I know this firsthand. A new push from Hyundai Hope on Wheels is helping fund research and raise awareness all in one so that more kids can get the care they need. And joining me now is friend to our show, real-life hero, bringing the magic, John Gustafaro, the executive director of Hyundai Hope on Wheels, joined by Isabella Franco-Caps. You are a 10-year-old cancer survivor, thriver, and national youth ambassador. Congratulations, Isabella.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Oh, I love this part, John, where we get to meet the new National Youth Ambassador. It's such an important message. Share with our audience how common pediatric cancer is and why this research still matters for families today.
Great to see you, man, and everyone. Wish I was there in studio with you, but thank you for helping us spread the word. Yeah, Hyundai Hope on Wheels, as you know, has been around since 1998. We're in our 28th year in this fight. This year, we're donating $26 million, propelling our lifetime giving to $300 million. And you know, it's much more than a dollar sign for us. So we're investing in research and treatment and survivorship to help more kids like Isabella not just survive cancer, but live a life of opportunity and well-being. And that's what it's all about.
And we've come such a long way, John, in terms of survival rates. What progress have you personally seen, and where do you feel more work is still needed?
Yeah, you know, research has driven the survival rate over 85%, which is a strong number, but it's not enough. We want to get to 100%. We're seeing a lot less invasive treatments for kids going through this. It used to be really hard on their bodies, and now a lot of outpatient procedures. Leukemia is among many cancers are highly curable. These researchers are doing the work, and we don't just want to mask the symptoms. We want to help these kids fight cancer themselves with new immunotherapy and cancer-fighting T cells, and that's the advances that we're seeing, and it's really hopeful to us. That is the hope behind all the work we do.
Hope is that magic word. Isabella, you and I have something in common. We're both cancer survivors. You went through so much, though, at such a young age. What do you want other kids out there to know and hear from your story?
I want other kids to know that to never give up your fight, and there's always a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and that pot of gold is hope.
It is hope. Oh my gosh, you're such a bright star. I can't wait to meet you in person one day. John, for people hearing about the organization for the first time, what do you want them to know about Hyundai Hope on Wheels? I mean, you know it means so much to me, and we see the work that the organization is doing. I mean, how does Hyundai Hope on Wheels truly help kids in hospitals?
You know, it's kind of a best-kept secret in many ways. A lot of people haven't heard of Hyundai Hope on Wheels, but we're one of the leading charities across the nation funding this amazing work. We started in 1998, so humble beginnings where a few Hyundai dealers supported a local hospital in the New England area, and now all 850 dealers are involved in this. So basically, every time a Hyundai is sold, a portion goes in our foundation. Hyundai Motor America supports it as well, but also we get individual donations, and it has become a movement, really. And I want people to know that there is hope. You know, we're fighting this every step of the way. The Hyundai Hope on Wheels is standing with kids like Isabella, their families, the researchers, the doctors. We're all together.
And you know what I love extra about Hyundai Hope on Wheels and Hyundai as a whole? You're right here in our backyard, and there's so many ways for our viewers to get involved. I know we have the Hyundai Hope on Wheels 5K and Color Fun Run coming up in September, which is also Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So SoCal can get involved. And I love when a viewer sends me a message saying, I was torn between two different cars, but I chose the Hyundai because a portion of that sale goes to the organization. That has to mean a lot, too.
It does mean a lot. You know, in Southern California alone, we've given over $25 million in our history, which is a big amount. And then I want to thank anybody involved in that. You know, you can help spread the word. Follow us on social media. Go to HyundaiHopeAndWheels.org to learn more about Isabella's story and Jackson, our other ambassador. There's many ways to get involved, whether it's a donation or volunteering or at the 5K or otherwise.
Absolutely. You are a huge part of it. Isabella, I was so happy to have you be a part of it. And of course, I'm happy to be a small part of it here as well. But Isabella, again, I cannot wait to meet you in person and give you a big hug.
Can't wait to meet you too. Thanks for having us.
Of course. So sweet. John, we'll see you soon. Come by and do some magic with us soon.
I would love that.
Everyone says hi, John.
Hi, John.
Hi, John.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Isabella. Hey. You'll have to come visit us in the studio, Isabella, too, with John one day. Okay, thank you both. So, yes, thank you both for your time. And for more information, you can head to HyundaiHopeOnWheels.org, and you can sign up for the annual Hyundai Hope on Wheels 5K and Color Fun Run in Fountain Valley on September 26th. Speaking of the Orange County location, my OC girl over here.
Good morning, Amanda. What a great cause, and just such an inspiration, Isabella. We've got to look at our traffic. Good Daylight Traffic brought to you by Jacob Ronnie, and call jacob.com. And we do have this issue. 3 vehicles collided here, taking away a lane of traffic, and it is bringing in a lot of delays behind that incident. This is going to be the southbound side of 605, right there at the 405 through the Long Beach area. If that's part of your route, make sure you give yourself extra time. We've got a lot of cloud cover, but still roadways are mostly dry. You may encounter a few drops of rain, but the bulk of it not expected to move in until later this afternoon. Northbound 110 from 405 coming inbound to downtown, just 19 minutes. In a live Caltrans camera, things continue to be typically slow on the northbound side of 405 as you're heading over the west side, and southbound 405 moving along pretty nicely on your approach to LAX. Here's a look at some other traffic hotspots.
I looked up and just ran. Maybe we need to seek somebody who does have the expertise to be able to guide us through the process.
If you're getting to an accident,
you're in good hands by dealing with Jacob and Ron.
Call Jacob.
Welcome back. Good Daily Weather, sponsored by the offices of Larry H. Parker. We are waiting for the possibility of rain, and that expected to arrive sometime later this afternoon into the evening hours. So for right now, it is cool, mostly cloudy. Temperatures are expected to drop later this afternoon. We're going to be lowering those numbers into the 70s for the next few days as this brief storm kind of moves through the area, and gradual improvements going into Friday and into the weekend. And speaking of the weekend, your Easter weekend, we're going to bring our temperatures hotter than normal. Quite a bit of a roller coaster ride in our weather pattern. You can see the 70s, as I mentioned, bringing in the precipitation opportunities, and then we're going to dry up, bring in sunshine, and temperatures will be above average. We'll get back in the upper 80s as possible. So we're eyeing this area of low pressure, and that counterclockwise spin in the atmosphere is bringing in rain right now to our neighbors to the north. Eventually, it's going to sag a little further south and bring in rain into Southern California. Taking a look at our futurecast, we're going to help play this out for you for your evening commute or your late afternoon commute into about 8 p.m. You'll see the bulk of that moisture coming through, light to moderate and heavy at times, and it'll push into the IE and eventually out of here. How much rain? Beneficial rain, about 1/10 to 1/4 inch at best. Really good stuff. Send back over to you.
Thank you, Sumata. Okay, after success with their first U.S. location at South Coast Plaza, Paradise Dynasty has opened its first restaurant in L.A. at the Americana at Brand. And here to tell us all about it, she's a pro, Eater LA contributor and Paradise Dynasty partner, Christy Hang. Thank you for hanging with me today. Welcome.
Thank you.
Christy, you have to tell me about Paradise Dynasty's signature soup dumplings. I love a soup dumpling.
I'm so excited to feed you today. They are famous around the world for their soup dumplings. They use premium curl-butter pork, and it doesn't get fresher than this. We have our master chef here making it from scratch.
I am so honored. We're in the presence of royalty right now.
And the thing is, if it's your first time, I like to recommend the Rainbow Treasure 8 dumplings.
Okay.
So it's you get a little, you get a little bit of everything. You try all the different fillings.
Yes.
Black truffle, garlic, Sichuan, anything you can think of, crab roe, kimchi.
I smell it. It smells so good.
So this is just a great way to get, your foot in the door and try a little bit of everything.
It tells you which one.
And find out what you like. And they are the first ones to do it. Look at these beautiful colors, actually all natural, dyed using vegetable juice.
It smells, sir, these are some of the most beautiful dumplings I've ever seen.
They're so beautiful and it's so good.
Almost too pretty to eat, especially these cute little pandas, which we'll get to in just a second. But I want to know what sets Paradise Dynasty apart from most Chinese restaurants.
They use really good ingredients, first of all, but they have a quarterly special where every few months the chef switches up and gives you brand new dishes all the time. So you never have to eat the same thing twice.
Okay, that's good. Let's go to some of the hot plates right here, the hot ticketed items, from the lobster noodles to the beef here.
Yes. So the lobster noodles and the crispy scallops are actually seasonal specials.
Ooh.
Really good. It's in season right now. We'd love for you to try.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you were telling me, because this little panda, I just want to show you.
It's too cute to eat, I know.
This is almost too cute to eat. Should I eat it, Roxy and Sandra? Okay.
Chocolate lava.
Inside? All right, take a baby bite so I don't get chocolate on my soup.
The perfect dessert. I know it's a little early, but always can have dessert, right?
Oh yeah, always can have dessert.
We have some sweet and sour chicken. We have some pork chop fried rice.
Delicious.
Black pepper beef. A radish cake. They actually sell out every single day.
Tell me about the radish cake. I'm not as familiar with that.
So it's a dim sum dish, actually. Really healthy for you, but also that crust just melts in your mouth. It is so good. We have some here if you'd like to take a try.
I love my little plate. And then you need something to wash it all down.
Oh yeah, so it's 5 o'clock somewhere. They have an amazing craft cocktail program. We have the Imperial Bloom right here where they make their jasmine syrup in-house. We also have a lychee martini, so amazing. And
refreshing.
They have just so many choices. You can't go wrong. Always a blast when I go.
Christy, you brought so many great plates. Thank you so much. Thank you for making these beautiful dumplings for us. So excited. And then I'm going to bring 2 little pandas to Araxia and Sandra. But in the meantime, you can follow Paradise Dynasty on Instagram at Paradise Dynasty _USA. Christy, thank you so much.
Of course.
Ladies, I've got these for you.
Yeah.
Coming on over.
So cute. Come on over.
We'll be right back.
welcome to 9 a.m. on this last day of March. I'm Roxy Carpadian.
And I'm Sandra Enda. Thanks for joining us. Let's take a look at today's headlines.
So you saw it first on Fox right here. Multiple questions remain after a man is found dead by himself inside of an Azusa police car. Gigi will join us with a timeline of events that led to this moment.
Plus, Anaheim police investigating a tragic scene after 2 people died in a multi-car crash that left several others injured as well. What we're learning this morning.
And as U.S. forces continue fighting Iran, the Secretary of War, has a message to all of the allies. We'll bring you that coming up. First, though, we have to check on the weather with Samada. It feels a little different out there this morning.
Yes, already feeling that cooler air, more clouds, and we're going to eventually pick up additional rain, and we're waiting for the bulk of it to come down from the northern area and into Southern California. Arrival time sometime this afternoon. So big change in our weather pattern indeed. We've got temperatures right now, 63 degrees in Burbank. You want to keep that light jacket around to keep you warm. Temperature highs this afternoon. Overall, still very comfortable considering we're in the upper 60s and low 70s, but we're just going to add in some precipitation. It has been very hot and dry for much of the entire month of March, and finally the change. Mountain communities about 55 degrees. We're heading over to Big Bear, and winds will eventually get stronger. Wind advisories take effect later on tonight for the areas of our mountains and our desert regions as well. Heading over to Coachella Valley, it will be 86 degrees and windy. More details on the 7-day forecast and what your Easter weekend's going to look like coming up. Back to you.
Samantha, thank you. 2 people were killed and several others seriously injured in an overnight crash in Anaheim.
Police say it started with a driver who ran a red light and slammed into multiple cars. Mario Ramirez live at the intersection where it happened. Mario.
Sandra, Roxy, Anaheim police calling this a reckless chain of events that, as you mentioned, led to 2 people dying. They say that driver sped through the traffic light here behind me, and after being shut down for more than 6 hours, the intersection at Lincoln and Anaheim now back open to traffic as the investigation continues. Now take a look at the video here, a look at the wreckage. This all happened just before 1 a.m. Police say it started when an officer spotted a silver Infiniti driving erratically near Harbor and Cypress about half a mile away. Investigators say the driver then turned off his lights and sped away. Minutes later, that same car ran a red light southbound through the intersection here, triggering a violent multi-car crash. A blue Honda Accord, a red Toyota Camry crossing the intersection, and a white Cadillac Escalade waiting at the light were all hit. 4 people inside the Infiniti. A male passenger was killed, and the 3 other occupants, including 2 teenage girls in the back seat, and the driver are in critical condition this morning. Another man, the driver of the red Toyota Camry, also died at the scene, making this a double fatal, and one witness says he saw police following the driver just before the crash.
I came out of my truck and I saw the cop chasing this Infiniti, and then after like a few seconds I heard the loud crash and the cop was chasing him really fast.
When officers tried to catch up the vehicle, that driver turned off the lights and accelerated away at a high speed. Our officers never were able to catch up, never able to turn on the lights and sirens, so we were never actually engaged in a pursuit. But as our officers tried to catch up, they saw a collision here at this intersection of.
And this is another look at that red Toyota Camry where an innocent driver died. The vehicle was towed away early this morning. Anaheim police again say officers never initiated a pursuit and never activated their lights. Now back out here live, investigators say traffic cameras did capture the Infiniti running that red light moments before impact. Another piece of the investigation, the intersection here reopened around 7 o'clock this morning. And in total, there were 7 people in 4 different vehicles involved. Again, 2 people dead and 3 others in critical condition. Live at Anaheim this morning, I'm Mario Ramirez. Sandra, Roxia, back to you.
What a dramatic scene there. All right, Mario, thank you. Now, first seen on Fox this morning, we have new video and information on what led up to an Azusa man dying in a police patrol car.
Gigi Gracieta is live for us this morning in Azusa with this story. Gigi, so many details here. Good morning.
That's right. Azusa PD releasing body-worn camera footage. Cameras worn by 2 patrol officers when they pulled Eric Valencia over on Friday, March the 20th. It would be the start of a series of events that ended tragically.
My blood's gonna come out with alcohol. Is it? Yeah, I'm an alcoholic. I was supposed to be in detox, but I haven't been able to go.
Eric Valencia seen on camera talking to officers after they told him they would require a blood sample. Again, it was Friday, March 20th at 9 p.m. when Azusa police officers say they pulled Valencia over because he was driving with his lights off. Again, it was 9 p.m. Inside Valencia's car, his two children, ages 3 and 11, their faces blurred. Driving with your lights off would normally result in a ticket or a verbal warning, but officers say that while speaking to Valencia, they smelled alcohol and suspected he was under the influence, something they are heard on the video saying repeatedly. As the children sit in the car, the officers are seen giving Valencia at least 2 pass tests. That stands for preliminary alcohol screening. According to the police department, he blew a 0.20 on one and a 0.18 on another. That is almost double. That is more than double the legal limit of 0.08. But there was more. Police noted Valencia's driver's license was expired. He had no proof of registration or insurance in the car and didn't even know who the car was registered to. The most important issue, though, they say, is that they believe he was under the influence and had his 2 small children in the car, and that's why they arrested him on suspicion of DUI and child endangerment. His children later turned over to a family member. Valencia was heard denying that he was under the influence when he was told that he would have to give that blood sample. Now, the exchange was professional, almost amicable at times. The officer continuing to tell Valencia he believes he's under the influence. Valencia was spent the weekend in jail, but on Monday afternoon, take a look at the video, he was released pending the results of a toxicology test, that blood sample that he gave while in jail. The videos show that he's walking around Monday afternoon about 12:30. Police say he's holding a bag of his personal belongings and a sack lunch that was given to him when he was released. He also had his cell phone. Valencia seen walking back and forth, looking at the patrol cars, eventually getting into the back of an out-of-service patrol SUV known as Paul 37, which the department admits was mistakenly left unlocked. There were no weapons inside, though, they say. The video shows there were no officers present when he got in the car. The moment he closed that door, though, he was locked inside, but police say he had that working cell phone on him, which he could have used to call for help. Meanwhile, his family had filed a missing persons report. They were worried sick about him, and today they are demanding answers and want to know what happened. The Azusa Police Department says they also want to know what happened.
And they can't show me that? Why? Why? We want answers. We want answers. We just want to know what happened.
And that's our big question, and that's what we want to know. As long as we are able to provide the family some closure, and we would like that closure too, is to know what was the intent of getting into a police car in the middle of the day after you've just been released. And nobody really knows, and I'm hoping we'll be able to find that answer and that closure for the family.
But everyone admits that tragically it may never be known why Eric Valencia got into the back of that police car. The incident is now the focus of 4 different investigations, and the family has retained attorneys. Of course, Azusa PD is doing their own internal review. The district attorney's office is looking into it, and the police department has hired an independent firm called the JL Group, which evaluates police policies and procedures. And of course, the medical examiner will determine how Valencia died. They too are awaiting the results of forensic tests. Now, bringing it back here live, one part of this investigation, which will be very important, is the cell phone that Valencia reportedly had in the backseat of that police car. The police department tells me they checked their logs, and no calls for help were made from Valencia's phone during the period that he was inside that car. And another important thing of note, because this is something the family was very concerned about, yesterday they demanded to know, was that police car moved after Valencia got into it and during the time he was in the car? The police department says they have video footage, and it shows the police car was never moved from the moment Valencia Valencia got into the back seat and the moment he was found on Thursday morning.
And do we know if the family attempted to call him during the time that he was, as they say, missing?
That's a very good question, and no, they did not mention. They did talk about how they searched for him, how they called hospitals, how they filed a missing persons report, how they knew that if he had been released from jail, he would have gone straight home. But now that video is out there, the video that shows him getting into the car with no officers present. So now the mystery on why he did that deepens. Police are hoping that maybe phone records will show he texted someone, he called someone and explained his actions. One thing they say they know for sure, he never called 911 for help.
Well, I wonder if he had a fully charged phone, or if the phone was charged at all, or if it was dead and he couldn't use it. We don't know, right? A lot of answers.
The phone, actually, we do know, because according to the police department, the phone was taken with Valencia's personal belongings by the medical examiner, and then later the phone was turned over to the police department for this ongoing investigation. The police department says the phone was still working. It had been turned off all weekend long, so it still was charged. They tested the phone themselves after, and they called, the police called 911 on that phone, on Valencia's phone, they say, and the call went through. Now they have issued a subpoena to the phone company to get the phone records to see who, if he called anybody, and who and what might have been said in those conversations. The phone is going to be a crucial part of this investigation, at least for closure, to know exactly, hopefully know why he got into that car.
Yeah, what exactly happened. All right, Gigi, thank you. Now, we do have a lot more coming up on Good Day LA, but first, a check on traffic.
And Good Day LA Traffic is brought to you by Detail Law Group, Accident and Injury Attorneys. We do have a look at our real-time traffic. If this is part of your route at this hour, you want to go ahead and apply 27 minutes to your ride leaving downtown to get to the west side, and 17 minutes on the northbound side of the 110 headed inbound. Here's a live Caltrans camera. This is going to be the 710 at Long Beach Boulevard. The southbound side moving pretty nicely, as well as the northbound side. A lot of big rigs on the roads there. Here's a look at some other traffic hotspots.
This broadcast is locally sponsored by DT LA Law Group, Auto Accident and Injury Attorneys. Have an injury? Text Injury Help to 40222 or visit us online at calldowntown.com. Message and data rates and usage may apply.
Okay, girls. We're going to jump right into it.
Let's do it.
Good. All right. Entertainment sponsored by Yamava Resort and Casino. You know, an Apple TV series a day keeps the boredom away. I don't make the rules. But bored is the last thing you'll feel after watching the new teaser trailer for the upcoming limited series. You'll know this familiar title, Cape Fear, starring Javier Bardem.
I had a good life once, too.
We did what we thought was right.
Talk about having it all. You deserve this.
Is it blood?
Something's really wrong.
Oh, my God.
What is your worst fear?
Ooh. What is your worst fear? In this adaptation, a storm is coming later this year for happily married attorneys Anna, played by Amy Adams, and Tom, played by Patrick Wilson, when Max Cady, played by Javier Bardem, who is the notorious killer they are responsible for putting behind bars, is let out of prison, and he wants vengeance. The series is executive produced by Steven Spielberg, who produced the 1991 film alongside Scorsese. We'll have more when the official trailer drops a little bit later on.
Okay. That's good.
Later on, and maybe in the summer.
Oh, okay.
not today. All right. Who likes a good buffet? A good buffet?
Vegas.
Vegas? You go to Vegas for your buffets. Well, you don't even have to leave the state because 3 California buffets have been included amongst the top 150 best buffets in America. The results were based on Google review scores as well as buffet and soft drink prices to determine the top spot. But let's get into the best in our backyard, shall we? Coming in at number 20 out of 150, Umi Hot Spot and Seafood Buffet in the City of Industry. Number 69, you got Paradise Buffet in Los Angeles, and 136 went to King Buffet in Garden Grove. I truly miss Soup Plantation, and I'll just, any chance I can say it, I'll say it.
Put it out there.
Put it out there. We asked you what your favorite part of a buffet is. Here are the results. Okay. 52% just want that all-you-can-eat experience. You can go to foxla.com/vote. Not only can you vote, you can give us your comments as well. So we have some of those. I spend a lot of time in Las Vegas. I enjoyed the buffets there, especially all-you-can-eat. The varieties are one of a kind. From Harold Martin, from San Bernardino, Harold. Thank you for watching us. Charlene Cox says, they gross me out with everyone, kids included, touching everything. Too many germs for me. Think about how many times you do or don't wash your hands. Are you Charlene Cox or Roxy? Is that your stage name?
Even I didn't say that.
Wow. Yeah.
It depends how it's laid out. You know, some are more just clean, you could tell, right? Yeah. And they have those barriers.
They have like a server behind it.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yesterday we had a coworker, I won't name him, out there with the honey baked ham makeshift buffet in the hallway, and I saw him start grabbing some things with his hands, and I said, hey, blank, don't do that. We've got to get some better utensils back there.
Wow.
I think. Yeah. I saw you.
I want to know who during the break. Tell me.
All right.
All right, coming up, we've got something special for music fans, a chat with the First Lady of Motown, Claudette Robinson.
She's a real pioneer in the industry. Robinson opens up about the challenges and triumphs and the advice she's now sharing with the next generation.
happens.
And welcome back. Good Daily Weather is sponsored by Pechanga Resort Casino, and we do have a look outside currently. Winds on the lighter side, but look at the cloud cover. You can already feel it in the atmosphere as soon as you walk out the door. Temperatures are quickly going to cool later this afternoon. Upper 60s for the beach areas, and the shower chances will increase into the afternoon. Then we'll bring in sunshine. Temperatures on the rebound. Numbers get back to being pretty hot for inland and valley communities. You can see for your Easter weekend, we're anticipating 80s. We've just got to get through the chance of showers today and into the early part of tomorrow. We will get a mixed bag of sunshine and some clouds tomorrow as well. Scattered showers still likely for valleys in the IE later this afternoon into the evening hours, and temperatures getting back into the upper 80s there. Back to you, ladies.
As we wrap up Women's History Month, we profile a living piece of music history.
Claudette Robinson helped shape the sound that changed America as a founding member of the legendary group, The Miracles. And we sat down with a woman known as the First Lady of Motown.
Nice to finally meet you.
I feel like I've met you 1,000 times. Because when I see people on TV, I've met them.
Oh, well, I've listened to all of your music more than 1,000 times, so I feel like I know you in so many ways.
I thank you for that.
Long before Motown became a cultural force, 87-year-old Claudette Robinson was there at the very beginning. Born in New Orleans and raised in Detroit, she once thought she'd become a teacher. Instead, she became part of a group that would help define modern music. The legendary Berry Gordy discovered The Miracles in 1957 after he watched the group fail in audition.
I guess he thought that that would be a great official title to call me the First Lady of Motown, since I was a lady and I was the first. I was very honored to have been in the beginning of what started Motown Records.
But being the only woman in that space came with challenges.
I'm not going to tell you that it was easy. Going on the road with all guys and all the other people on the road, all guys, you know, it was men.
Still, Robinson says she found her strength in kindness and collaboration.
But there were many challenges. Everyone thought I should be the lead singer, not in the background. But I have always thought the greatest blend is harmony. And if you can blend with others, it's the greatest gift you can have.
The team-first mindset helped define the Miracles' signature sound and her role as a mentor to other women.
I think I have a great relationship with all the women who come across, because being the very first female, you know, they wanted to know, what do you wear, how do you act? And I gave them my best advice, and I wanted to help them because I felt like they were all like my sisters. You know, I never had a sister, so.
Today, she says she's proud to see how far women in the industry have come.
Probably they don't know, but I listen to all of them. And I'm really happy and excited, you know, to see them making their advances and a grateful mark in show business. You know, because women have always been around. It's not that they weren't around, they just weren't recognized in the same way.
Now she's passing that history on in a new way with her children's book, Claudette's Miraculous Motown Adventure. And her message to the next generation is simple and powerful.
You have to respect yourself so that others can respect you.
From harmony on stage to harmony in life, Claudette Robinson's voice still resonates.
Oh my gosh, such a great story. And she's so gorgeous.
I know.
You can find Claudette's Miraculous Motown Adventure anywhere where books are sold.
Great book. Go out and get it. We'll be right back.
everyone. Welcome to it. It is Tuesday, 9:30. I'm Roxy Carapadian.
And I'm Sandra Endo. Let's take a look at today's headlines. Following controversy surrounding Cesar Chavez, California is marking Farm Workers Day for the very first time. Brooke will be joining us to talk about the impact of this change.
Plus, everything we know about birthright citizenship could soon be flipped on its head. What action the Supreme Court is taking tomorrow.
And helping college students pursue a career in the sports industry. How you can take advantage of a local professional development program. But first, a check on weather.
And good morning, everyone. We are closely watching and waiting for the chance for more rain across Southern California. We may pick up a few light raindrops throughout much of the early part of the day, but the afternoon, that's when the bulk of this latest system is set to make its way into SoCal. Time frame, again, later afternoon to even the nighttime hours. Temperatures currently mostly in the 60s. We got 63 degrees in Burbank, 65 degrees in Riverside under a lot of cloud cover. There may be just enough moisture, enough lift that could bring about some light sprinkles even now. Today's high temperatures will be near normal, upper 60s and the low 70s. Still pretty comfortable, but if you compare to what we have been experiencing, which was well above normal temperatures, this is quite refreshing. We do have winds coming onshore, which will become a little stronger as gusts push up to 50 miles an hour for the desert regions, and wind advisories will be in place later tonight as well. More details on your Easter weekend forecast coming up. Back to you, ladies.
All right, Samantha, thank you. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth is vowing to step up the pressure on Iran as the U.S. and Israel-led war enters its 32nd day, Hegseth gave an update on Operation Epic Fury earlier this morning, and he confirmed that video posted online by President Trump overnight was an ammunition dump that was destroyed by American bombers. He urged the regime in Tehran to cut a peace deal, saying the next few days of war could be decisive.
President Trump doesn't bluff, and he does not back down. You can ask Khomeini about that. The new Iranian regime should know that by now. This new regime, because regime change has occurred, should be wiser than the last. President Trump will make a deal he is willing, and the terms of the deal are known to them. If Iran is not willing, then the United States War Department will continue with even more intensity.
Hegseth again declined to say whether U.S. ground troops would be deployed, saying the point was to be unpredictable.
New this morning, Israel's parliament passes a controversial new law that the international community and human rights groups are calling inhumane. The parliament approved the death penalty by hanging as the default punishment for Palestinians convicted of deadly terror attacks. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu voted in favor of the bill, which passed 62 to 48. Human rights groups are calling it discriminatory and unconstitutional, and several European nations say it undermines democratic principles. The legislation is being petitioned and can still potentially be struck down by Israel's Supreme Court.
A high-stakes showdown at the Supreme Court tomorrow as the justices weigh the future of birthright citizenship. The High Court will decide if President Trump overstepped his power by signing an executive order to end automatic citizenship for children born to undocumented immigrants. The administration argues that the 14th Amendment has been misinterpreted for decades, while critics call the move a direct violation of the Constitution. Every lower court so far has blocked the president's order. Oral arguments are set to begin at 7 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, and a decision is expected by summer.
California will mark Farm Workers Day for the first time.
Yeah, Brooke is here to tell us about it.
I know it's kind of like a technicality, right?
Yes.
Because it's name change, but the day still the same, still a very important day. March 31st, the state holiday was long known as Cesar Chavez Day, but leaders across the state have moved to drop the late civil rights leader's name after sexual abuse allegations against him surfaced earlier this month. Governor Newsom signed the name change into law last week. Cities across the state, including Los Angeles, are now moving to strip Chavez's name from streets, schools, and parks, refocusing the holiday on the broader labor movement rather than on one man. And let's talk about that broader movement, really why this holiday exists to begin with. It's a day to honor the people who work in our fields and their ongoing struggle for rights. It's a reminder of a fight for fair wages and overtime pay, access to clean drinking water, even things like clean toilets, heat illness prevention, really safer working conditions overall, and also the legal right to organize without retaliation. Dolores Huerta, Gilbert Padilla, Larry Itliong, and Philip Veracruz, two Filipino farm workers and organizers. All of these people helped create the UFW, the longest-running farm workers union in the U.S. Their advocacy led to the passage of the California Agricultural Labor Relations Act of 1975, which protected farm workers' rights to form unions and bargain collectively over their wages and conditions. The very first law in our nation of its kind, and really one of the only major protections for farm workers in our country. Lots of protections here in the state of California, but overall in our nation, farm workers are not, their right to unionize doesn't exist federally. Some 1%, I believe I read, of farm workers nationally are protected by a union.
Wow.
Right. So it's a day like this, you know, talking about what the day means, what the movement was and still is overall, it's really important when you think about things like that, you know?
Well, speaking of the movement, it was beyond just one man and one man's name. So therefore, you mentioned some of the people involved that played a big role over the years in getting to where it is now. And so changing the name, I think, puts like a blanketed statement about how important the movement is to everyone, beyond just one man's name.
I mean, it's important. It was a multiracial coalition. These people changed history together. There's a fight that they're still working towards today. How many people, you know, just casually know who Cesar Chavez is, but they don't know about, you know, the Filipinos and their integral role in this movement, in this union. There's so much, I think, that I was reading a New York Times article actually earlier this morning, and it was about teachers and what they're going to teach now and how they're going to educate kids about this day. And it was a really fascinating article.
Yeah, it's a coalition of people, and their work should be recognized as such for being so historic and paving the way for not only farm workers, but so many unions that followed their work. So really impactful change.
Absolutely. You know, we talk about like farm workers and how important they are to our lives every single day, right? Every single aspect of our lives.
Right, our food chain.
Yeah,
exactly.
And so this is about them, and I think it's really important. If you want to though talk about the investigation that led to these name changes, is 5 years. They got one tip from a biographer in 2021. And have been working on this since, looking at old emails, old meeting notes, union records.
Looking
60 different people, looking at pictures they interviewed.
Did incredible journalism.
Well, if you're going to come out with a report like this, you better make sure you have a thorough investigation.
Absolutely.
So not surprised it took this many years to then come out strong with this. Brooke, thank you so much.
Thanks for having
Appreciate it.
All right, today is also International Transgender Day of Visibility. The annual event is meant to highlight the contributions of the transgender community and the contributions it has made to society, as well as consider the issues they're currently facing. The Black Cat, a historic LGBTQ+ landmark in Silver Lake, will host a photo series event complemented by a live performance from the Trans Chorus of Los Angeles and a panel discussion as well. It's all happening in Silver Lake from 5:30 this evening to 9 o'clock at night, and admission is free. Thousands of local kids are on spring break right now and need some inspiration on what to do as a family.
Or they're getting ready for spring break. Coco McAvoy in Long Beach with one idea that's fun and educational. Hi.
Hey there. Yes, it's spring break for a lot of kids, and you can see that a lot of kids and parents are taking advantage here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. It's the perfect place to come, especially because the LA Public Library has this great program called Discover and Go, where you can get discounted tickets. I'll tell you about that a little bit more in a little bit, but I'm here with Sarah, who is the education supervisor. Tell us about this section. It's really popular.
So this is our Shark Lagoon. It's one of our touch pools here. So we've got 2 pools where you can touch our animals. We have sharks in this pool and rays in this one, and then some larger animals that you can't touch, but some larger sharks to see behind us.
And tell us about how this works.
Yeah, so this is our bamboo sharks and our epaulet sharks, and you just reach on in, and they are kind of napping right now, but you just kind of wait, and eventually they'll come around and you get to touch these animals. They look like babies, but they're actually full-grown sharks.
That's amazing. And something we were talking about is a lot of people don't realize that this is a nonprofit, so a lot of conservation work.
Absolutely. So sharks are a really important part of our ocean ecosystem. They actually tell us that our ocean is really healthy. And so we are partnering with a lot of different organizations on some conservation projects. One specific with our zebra shark. So a little bit larger than these animals here, but we've got some zebra sharks behind us, and we are taking their eggs and we are sending them to Indonesia, where they're going to raise those sharks and then put them back in the ocean and help bolster that population.
That's incredible. And as we were talking about, you can see it's busy. This is definitely a hot spot. Talk about why it's great to come and all the activities you can do.
Yeah, you get to get up close to these animals. So all the touch pools, you get to touch animals and build that connection. And we know that building that connection helps people have empathy for these animals and want to protect them sort of beyond our walls.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for talking to us. You have got to come and check out the Aquarium of the Pacific. I did mention that the LA Public Library has this program, Discover and Go. They're working with more than 20 museums and cultural institutions where you can get free or discounted tickets. So here, for example, with the Aquarium of the Pacific, you can get about $9 off of your ticket. For more information, head to the website lapl.discoverandgo.net. You're going to put in your library card information there, and then you can make your reservations. I'll send it back to you.
Very good. Already so busy.
I know,
my gosh.
behind her.
Truly. Yep. Great idea. Thank you so much, Coco. The Los Angeles Sports and Entertainment Commission launched a program 13 years ago to help aspiring college students looking to pursue a career in the sports industry.
The Professional Development Program Summit is a free week-long summit that gives those accepted the critical job skills needed to not only get hired, but to be successful in a highly competitive industry. And here to talk more about the program is Jason Crutch from the LASEC. Hi there, Jason.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Good morning. So this is such a big deal because people want to get into sports not only as athletes or players, right, but behind the scenes as well. We're talking about sports management, team management, equipment management. It could be social media for sports, anything surrounding teams and the industry. So talk about what people learn through this summit.
Yeah, this is really a week-long intensive opportunity to see all sorts of opportunities around the sports world. Like you mentioned, either marketing and communications, operations, logistics, and really an opportunity to go behind the scenes and meet the different individuals that are working in these roles currently to get a better understanding of what the opportunities are and how to break into that industry. And really, most importantly, start building your network in this industry.
Yeah, talk a little bit about who qualifies for the program and also the types of programs, because as Sandra mentioned, it goes well beyond just the obvious when you think of sports.
Yeah, so the program is open to juniors and seniors and then recent graduates. It's a week-long intensive program that's going to take place between July 13th through 17th. And it's really intended to be a week-long celebration of all things taking place in the sports industry. So there'll be professional development training. There'll be panel discussions with industry professionals, and then we'll be out and about. We'll be visiting different venues and meeting with teams on the ground, really talking about the operations and what the day-to-day looks like in these different professional environments in the sports industry.
And the best part about it is free, and all of these young folks getting a chance to really get their foot in the door at an early age is key.
It's critical. Yeah, all you need to do for anybody that's interested, all you need to do is apply. It's an amazing opportunity. We have 13 years of this program. So not only will you build an amazing network by being part of this cohort, you also have this amazing alumni base of individuals that have been part of this program that continue to come back and connect and become really great, just connections on helping you develop your career path within the sports and entertainment industry.
I think one of the things I would tell kids who are watching or their parents is if there's just the slightest bit of interest, to go for it and give it a shot, because oftentimes what you think you know about the industry or the topic is very different once you're actually in it and experiencing it in real time.
Without a doubt. I would encourage anybody that qualifies to visit lasec.net to learn more about the program. I will call out the applications are only open till this Friday, so this is the last few days to apply. So anybody that qualifies, anybody that might be remotely interested, now is the time. Submit an application, go through the interview process. And you know, again, I think the group that it will be selected will have an amazing experience. This summer is also such an exciting time in Los Angeles. We're getting ready for the FIFA World Cup coming in just 72 days from now. This program will piggyback right on the back of it. Our last match in Los Angeles is July 10th this summer. This program will take place the 13th through 17th. So there's going to be a ton of real-time discussion and learning from really the excitement of what that tournament's going to bring to Los Angeles and be able to apply directly into this program. So it's a really special summer to be involved.
I was going to say, Jason, I know you're really busy planning for the World Cup and, of course, for the Olympics ahead. So very busy time in sports. Thank you so much.
It's a good time to be involved. Thank you. Appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. So let's reiterate that website info one more time. It's right there on your screen, lasec.net/professional development program summit. You have until Friday, as you heard. Give it a shot. Thank you so much again. Appreciate you being with us.
All right, coming up, the next big beauty trend isn't on your face, it's on your scalp.
Our next guest has spent decades helping people get to the root of healthy hair. We'll break down what you need to know before buying into the hype.
And welcome back. I'm meteorologist Mada Khan, and we have a look at the last day of March, and it looks like we'll be cooler, closer to normal, especially after the waves of above average temperatures. At one point, of course, in the month, we reached a high of 98 degrees during that record heat wave. Now we're slowly seeing temperatures come down, and we're going to add in some rain chances as we get into tomorrow, which is Passover, and we have a long week of Good Friday coming up on this coming Friday as well as Easter. We've got a roller coaster of temperatures today, tomorrow through Thursday, right around the low 70s with a chance of rain. And then we've got a lot more sunshine coming our direction. Upper 80s, should I say. The bulk of this latest system will arrive sometime later this afternoon. As we push forward into the afternoon, there will be pockets of sporadic showers. And then later on into your evening commute and dinner time hours, more widespread rain. But this is very light. We're anticipating perhaps a 1/10 of an inch to a 1/4 of an inch at best in some spots. It'll continue to roll through about the 9 o'clock hour, 10, 11 before it completely rolls out. Not until tomorrow afternoon. There may be a few pockets of lingering showers. And here's a look at our future rain. About 1/100th of an inch of rain for Santa Monica, perhaps a 1/4 of an inch for Ontario. This is beneficial rain. We need this rain, and thank goodness it's not torrential. We've got 68 degrees today, moving up higher. Numbers get warm to hot again for your Easter weekend. We go 70s with a chance of showers, drying up. 80s will be back by your Easter Sunday. Valleys in the IE 73 degrees, and then temperatures linger in the 70s before a nice little boost in the upper 80s. Send it back over to you, ladies.
All right, Samada, thank you. So if your hair is thinning, falling flat, looking flaky, your scalp could be to blame, of course.
That's right. Now the beauty world is catching on with a growing focus on the skinification of the scalp.
That's right. Our next guest knows this space inside out, spending decades treating his clients and developing products that get to the root of the problem. But with the scalp becoming the next big beauty obsession, how do you separate the real fixes from the fads out there, and how can you tell when it's more than just a bad hair day? Well, joining us now to break it all down is Hollywood stylist and scalp expert Philip Berkovitz. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, it's a treat to have you. You're so passionate about what you do, which we love.
Thank you.
Let's get right to it. Okay, a lot of people pay attention, of course, to their skin. It's all about how you're looking. Do we pay enough attention to our scalp, and why is the scalp just as important?
Well, great hair comes from a greater scalp. And it's always been out of sight, out of mind, unless it's itching, flaking, falling out, your hair's falling out. Unless there's a problem present and in your face, you don't really pay attention.
Right.
And it's funny, the face you look at every day, so you put your toner on. You all know about putting toners on your skin. But why wouldn't you do it for your scalp or your hair? One thing we don't realize is our skin and our hair and our scalp all have the same pH of 4.5 to 5.5. The hair is a dead byproduct of the body. The epidermis is also dead, the top layer of skin, and so is the top layer of the scalp. So it's neutral to acid, but we drink alkaline water, alkaline in. That's healthy because we're alive.
Right.
So I realized I was seeing a lot of problems, and when I started doing pH correction on the skin, the oil glands started to correct and everything got normal. Itching stopped. The overproduction of bacteria and yeast stopped, which is very common. You know, our scalp is the oiliest part of our body. And it has, in the biome itself, it has a very, like a normal percentage of yeast and bacteria. But when the pH goes too high, the oil glands start to accelerate, which causes and creates an environment for these problems to grow. And that creates itch and flaking.
So you have a solution.
Yes,
so
I have a solution.
Show us, what have you brought?
Actual solution in a bottle.
This is a solution. It's a genie in a bottle, really. So this is a pH spray with apple cider vinegar, and this is a litmus chart. And you see your hair and your skin run here between 4 and 5, orange to yellow. You really want to get into that yellow zone. But tap water is 7, 8, 9. So if you take this paper, and this is just water from your tap here from the sink, this is what you bathe in. Now, normally after a shower, you towel dry. But it's before you grab the towel, you take this and you mist it on, wet or a little dry even, rub it in, just rub it in lightly. And you see how the water, the pH is going up, and you see we're shooting up into, it's going into 7, and it will go into 8. See, it's going darker.
Go down a little bit, just so,
like
right that. There. Hold it like that. Okay.
See, now watch what happens. This is an apple cider vinegar toner. And you can even make it at home. It's great. Look, spray it on, and immediately the pH drops right down.
Wow.
Now what that does is...
You can make it at home?
Yeah, you can make it. You could take some vinegar and some water. Now this also has essential oils in it that are nice buffers, and they're moisturizing. They're also antibacterial.
So what What's the goal? The goal is to get it to what level?
The goal is to get your pH down to here, down to
yellow.
Back to the yellow.
Okay.
By getting the pH back to the yellow, what happens is your oil glands calm down. Everyone's talking about training their scalp and trying to stop the oil glands. They don't realize that the water is making it. The water's the culprit. It's great for drinking, but not for washing.
Does it depend? Sandra was asking you, does it depend on what kind of water? Like there's hard water.
Okay, people always talk about about filters.
No, that's fine. Tell us.
And filters take out the minerals in the water, the heaviness, but they don't change the pH. All water that comes out of the tap runs 7 to 9. Now, I know that we have water filtration systems that you can have at your sink that you can change the pH to wash vegetables and all that. That's great, but not for shampooing and not for cleansing and not for washing your skin. Your body's your skin's your largest immune organ. So you really have to treat it like one. And we all, like women, all know about toning their face. They go to the counter, they cosmetic, they buy the toner. But for your scalp, for your hair, it totally closes the cuticle immediately and detangles your hair in seconds.
Okay, a lot of people are dealing with hair loss as we age, you know, and maybe take medication, all of that, hormones, you name it, right? So what's the best way to combat that, hair loss?
Stimulation of the scalp. You know, I always say when the baby cries, you pick it up. If your hair is falling, people say, I'm afraid to touch it. I'm like, what are you afraid of? Take your pads, your fingertips, get in and lift your scalp like this in the shower. I did it to myself this morning. This is a very vascular area. You want to push the circulation up. There I am right now. I'm taking psoriasis plaques off the scalp gently and kindly. Calmly.
What is that magic comb of yours?
It's an antibacterial comb that I'm producing, but
you speak my love language, antibacterial.
I know. We're Americans. We like everything clean. We have whitewashed streets. I use this to exfoliate. When I exfoliate the scalp, it's a gentle movement that I do. I use a lot of my oil treatment first on plaques, the psoriasis plaques, and I soak them, and then I heat them with a dryer, and I rub them with the pad of my finger, and that lets me feel when they've absorbed enough oil that they actually can dismantle gently. The most important thing with that is doing it kindly, because if you rip it off your scalp like some people do on TikTok, I'm seeing a lot of that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that, because it's sending a message to your immune system. Your skin speaks to your immune system. It's an immune organ. And it's saying emergency, which makes it flip out even more and come back faster. And people have written to me, oh, doesn't it make it come back faster? I go, no, because I'm using an oil to dismantle the cells, which sends a signal to the immune system, all is calm. All is fine. Oil glands come down, cell turnover comes down, and you'll notice
passion all the way around.
I just love what I do.
Be.com. Check it out there or Amazon.
And my chlorophyll wash, super important. Please check it out.